Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Brett Davis podcast, coming to you from Attorney King Studio in San Diego. It's great to have everybody here today. I'm very honored to finally get a chance to meet Dean Lister, who I've heard about from mutual friends, and I can't believe he's here. Dean, it's nice to have you.
Yeah, good to be here.
Appreciate it. I've heard a lot of nice things about you. You're a hell of a coach. We have a mutual friend, Josh, another guy that spoke very highly of you and was a good friend of mine, Justin LaFrance. I don't know if you remember Justin LaFrance. He was a builder, friend of Josh's before. But
Yeah.
So you're currently fighting as a middleweight division?
Well, I'm getting older. I had shoulder surgery. Actually, I almost lost my arm in Brazil. I almost got my arm off. It got really infected, so I'm not fighting right now. I'm just healing from this, In Brazil, it was right when COVID was happening, and now it's healing, Yeah.
Is that the rotator cuff?
Yeah, rotator cuff was like, I don't know, someone destroyed that over my career. It's just been destroyed really bad. So it's everything's ripped up in there. Now it's repaired finally, but it's pretty much as bad as a rotator cuff injury could be. So yeah, it's better.
I understand it's a very painful injury.
Yeah. There's a lot of it's a very complex joint, so it takes a while to heal.
Right.
And yeah, you have a lot of nerve endings in there. Less than like your knee. Your knee is a problem, of course. Knees are very unstable, but shoulders are a little more nerve endings there. Yeah.
So you were also you did some assisting grappling with Tito Ortiz on the third season of Spike TV reality show, right? And then you're, of course, the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was a while ago, and I was coaching on the show. Yeah, it was good times.
Well, it's really in this time and age, with all the great craziness going on with COVID. How have you had to adapt to what you do? Because everybody's had to change, haven't they, a little bit?
Yeah, I'll try to be a little neutral here. I have my own opinions. I mean, and I have to be understanding that people have different opinions, different points of view, different life experience. I've seen things so much more dangerous than COVID. It doesn't really scare me. I mean, I take precaution. I have respect. I'll wear a mask. I don't believe in them, but I'll wear them just because I have respect. Things like that. I think that people really overreacted a lot. Well, because we're from California.
We opened our podcast. We opened our podcast studio right when COVID happened, and I'll be honest with you, we've been on fire. We've never missed a day of work. We've been on fire.
Yeah,
I mean, we've been on 1,500% increase in viewership, and it never stopped us. Yeah. We kept working through the whole thing, and I don't disagree with you. I think isn't it interesting how Florida has one of the oldest senior citizen age groups in the United States, and here we are in California. We masked up. Florida didn't, and we had more cases in California.
Yeah,
isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that's my point. I was thinking that exact. I was also in Texas, but I don't know. Some people, I don't think they want to hear certain things. Maybe there's a certain comfort of being like, I'm doing all I can to survive. And sometimes I think that hey, you remember after 9/11, you couldn't fly with tweezers because the tweezers are dangerous. It's just to make people feel safe. Tweezers aren't really dangerous, but you throw them out because you feel safe. And I think social distancing is smart. Don't kiss people you don't know. It's smart. Don't hug grandpa right now. I understand, but just the whole shutting everything down for 1 year. There's some motive behind that. Something else. And so half the people listening will be upset when I say this because it's like 50-50. Feel one way or the other, and I respect. You have your own opinion. I have my own opinion too. So, but I also am in a sport where there's touching. I mean, you can't really do my sport by yourself. You need a partner, and it's very close. You're touching your opponent or your partner. So yeah, it really impacted my job and way to make a living. Really hard. So maybe that's why I'm a little bit biased one way.
So a lot of gyms and a lot of facilities that do different types of training have closed down and have been fined for not abiding by the law, which again, I don't agree with, because I think training period is good for the mind. It's good for the immune system. And I have friends that would not shut down and they're taking the hit because they really didn't believe in shutting down. And it didn't make sense that why would you not let people strengthen their immune system? And why would you not let them keep their psychology on course? Because I mean, can you imagine how much depression we've got right now? It's terrible.
Yeah, no, there we go. People are killing themselves even. There's more, you can't go out. I mean, not right now. I mean, you could go out in the sun, the beaches are closed. Sun is actually good. Vitamin D is good for COVID, so exercising is, so right now you have a lot of people, they're drinking a lot more than normal. They're eating a lot more fast food, they're not exercising and they're not going in the sun. And all these things, if you were to, you're not training. You have to, if you train your body, you get so much tougher to where you could fight things like COVID, and I don't know. It's just my opinion. Some people aren't gonna like that, but that's just how I feel.
Well, I don't disagree, and I think a lot of our listeners probably wouldn't disagree with you. What's your thoughts on, so how have you been able to, and it's different in different countries, isn't it? I mean, when you go to from place to place that you travel, or country to country, you kind of have to be adaptable, right?
Yeah, that's very true. Well, I've been to about 50 countries so far. I've lived in like 8 countries, like lived over a month. I've been to all over the world. So, especially to obey and listen to respect to the new laws, new cultures, just different points of view. I've seen news stories. I traveled, like, it was in Russia, then China, then USA, then Europe, like in the same week. And the same news story in English and USA will be completely different in China, and then Russia, and then Brazil is way different. It's just interesting to see the same story shown from 3 or 4 different points of view. So you have to adapt. You have to have some respect. And of course, obey the laws. There's different laws in different countries that you wouldn't be aware of. So yeah, adapting to things around the world is very important. And the COVID, I mean, yeah, every place has their own policy. There was one girl, was it Bahamas, I think? They had a 2-week quarantine, and her boyfriend was competing in a jet ski contest, and she snuck out in that first, and she got caught, and she's looking at a few months in jail down there. You can't disrespect someone else's law from different, just because maybe you're a little spoiled kid, from USA. Maybe daddy can get you out of jail here, but not there. So you have to respect the laws of any country. I think so.
So you're coaching a lot right now, right?
Getting back to it right now because of COVID, no. I've been coaching for 20 years, done this for a long time, but COVID's really hit the sport hard. Seminars, I'm doing seminars soon, traveling, all around the world again when I can, where I can
Good.
go. But yeah, right now it's been hitting the sport pretty hard.
I think this is a great opportunity for Dean Lister to talk to kids out there, teenagers that maybe are trying to find their way and maybe don't know
Yep.
about grappling and don't know about how important and how much discipline and how good it is to make you feel with your brain. And it's a good overall way to fight off a lot of demons. I think there's a lot of kids that need that right now.
Yeah, it's yeah. Well, I think that any kind of sport or art, science, anything, I mean, can be hard if you do it at a high level. Okay, but something about fighting. I'm not saying to go out and get into fights in the street or with people you don't know. I'm not even saying to go into be a professional fighter unless someone really wants to. I'm saying that the daily struggle that you get into as a kid, as a teenager, as a young adult, as an older adult, you're still going to have, yourself. You're fighting yourself. You're still fighting some people dislike you. You're gonna face people you're always in a struggle. So people in whatever sport, whatever job they have, they can usually identify with a fighter. That's why the Rocky movies are so good. The Rocky movies are based on all kinds of, facts from history. People think that sounds crazy, but it's true. A lot of human emotion, when you face someone, and to get ready to face someone in a fight. I did it professionally for many years. You have to look at yourself. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing good? And if you're in a bad position or you have a bad day, you still have to find a way to get through it. You can't just say, I'm not going to work today. As hard as other jobs are, I'm saying as a fighter, if you're having a bad day and you have to go through this tough opponent, and the person faced across in the cage from me is also very tough. Around the world, I fought at the highest level in the world, and I'm actually one of the few guys from San Diego. I'm actually from the city, but most people who live here now doing this sport are not from the city. So you have to look at yourself. What can I improve? You have to accept reality, because if you lie to yourself, let's say I I could feel bad about something. I call my friend, and my friend cares about me, so maybe he can lie to me. Yeah, make me not feel so bad. That might help me temporarily, but in the fight game, if I tell to my friend, or I ask my friend, hey, why is it that I'm getting hit too much, or why is it I'm getting my arm in a position where I'm getting choked or something bad? If he lies to me, this is going to happen over and over again. The next day, the next day, the next. So you have to confront reality. What am I doing wrong? You have to accept that maybe you're not strong here. Let's become stronger here. Maybe I am strong here. Maybe I change strategy. I look at my overall game to make my opponent fight my fight. You have to look at, if you're primarily an intelligent fighter or a fast fighter or a strong fighter or a resilient fighter. You have to listen. You have to use your eyes, your sense of touch, your ears, everything. It's something that it comes harder to others, but I think it benefits everyone equally because you learn how to put yourself in an environment where you have to be calm. You will make mistakes and you will learn. And the only way to learn is to be calm and to not give up and to look deep inside yourself. It's also very effective in the self-defense aspect.
Well, I mean, it probably applies to success in life too, right? Adapting.
Yes, I think so because any kind of, think about any kind of corporate job. If you're in a very stressful situation and you can calm down for that moment instead of go crazy or overreact, if you can hold your tongue, you can usually do better in any kind of, let's say, arena in life. Even relationships, I don't know, maybe that's not 100% applicable, but if you can calm down and see what's really going on, don't lose your temper. In jiu-jitsu, if you lose your temper, it doesn't do you any good. It's actually bad. You just suffer more. You just suffer more. So with time, you learn to calm down for sure. Learn to calm down, and I think it just helps. It's helped me a lot in some serious situations in my life. It's helped me a lot. Yeah.
Have you worked with military and law enforcement recently at all?
I've worked with military and law enforcement extensively. I've
Good.
worked with military. I mean, we live in San Diego, so I have a bunch of the team guys from the SEAL base. I used to have like 40 as my students back in 2003, a long time ago. My good friend Jocko Willink, he's one of
Yeah.
the owners of my gym. It's called Victory MMA. Yeah, it's the biggest gym in San Diego. I think it's the biggest in the county. But he's one of the owners. I'm one of the owners. I've known him since I was like 19 years old, so a long time ago. And let's see, law enforcement, other military, we have in the military too, but because we're in San Diego, mostly is Navy and Marines. Lots. I've done seminars at the MCRD and at Camp Pendleton. I was born at Camp Pendleton, so that's for me, it's like going home.
That's great.
Police, I've done some training for police in France, Croatia. I trained with a very famous cop named Mirko Krokop Filipovic. Very good, one of the best fighters in history. I was his coach for a while. I trained at the police in Brazil, France, USA. And one thing that's good about jiu-jitsu is if you could de-escalate a situation, maybe not hurt someone. I mean, you could restrain someone a lot really easy. Let's say more effectively in jiu-jitsu than you could have in boxing. Not boxing, but you have to be punching people in the face or the body to stop them, to control them. So if there's a way to restrain or maybe de-escalate a situation and be calm, it's great training in my opinion for military and law enforcement.
Do you use a lot of the different fighting methods, or do you have one? Do you just basically stick with like jujitsu?
In fighting, you have to use several things. Jiu-jitsu is my foundation, but there's boxing, there's kickboxing, there's wrestling, there's judo, there's many things. And you can be a specialist at each of these things and be a world champion and be super tough. I mean, each of these sports has their own thing that makes it a little bit tougher. Boxing has more head trauma than wrestling. Wrestling has more of a squeeze, let's say muscular exhaustion. Boxing might have a little cardiovascular. I mean, there's a mix in wrestling. You can fall and you can break your arm. It's different. Jiu-jitsu, you can get someone can break your arm. They can put you to sleep. Everything has their own individual thing that could be tougher about the individual sport. But in the all-encompassing sport, mixed martial arts, which is what the UFC is. It's funny, you don't fight UFC. You can fight in the UFC, but the sport is called mixed martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
That's like you have to do a little bit of everything. You're going to have your game plan, but you have to be well-rounded. If I was to compare, let's say, UFC or mixed martial arts to jiu-jitsu, that's like comparing running to being like a triathlete, because running is a part of the triathlon. You have to bike, you have to swim, and you have to run. I believe that's what it is.
Yeah.
So if you can run really good, awesome. But that's one third of what the triathlon is. If you can swim, great. But that's one third of what the triathlon. So you're gonna have someone who's the best swimmer in the world. Was it Phelps, right? You're gonna have
Yep.
who's the best runner in the world, Bolt, right, from Jamaica, right?
Yep.
And you're gonna have I don't know who's the best at cycling, right? But
Well,
in their own
was Lance until he got busted.
Lance Armstrong. That's okay. I like Bill Burr had a whole thing about how he doesn't feel bad for like he's like Lance did a great job. He's all roided up guy was better than your roided up guy. Bill Burr.
Exactly.
And he was making jokes about that. So yeah, okay. Let's see. Lance Armstrong would beat both those guys in biking. Bolt would beat both those guys in sprinting, and Phelps would beat both of them in the pool. But there's someone in the world who is the champion if you put all of them back to back. There's someone who, they bike 10 miles, they jump in they swim 1 mile, and then they run, I don't know, 3 miles. There's someone who would be number one, and it's neither of those three. Okay. So the UFC, we have some of the greatest athletes in the world, but we have Olympic wrestlers that fight in the UFC. We have high level world champion kickboxers. We have world champion jiu-jitsu guys like me that fight in the UFC. Different things. And it's important to know a little bit of it all. It's also important to know how to take a punch. That's why I'm not built like Justin Bieber. You can probably tell I look a little bit different than it. It's good to be able to take a punch. I mean, and then I have damage on my body, my shoulder, my knee, everything's just bad, but it's getting stronger. So there's
Good.
some genetic thing in there. It's rare to find a power lifter that's very tall. It's rare to find a basketball player that's very short. You have certain things that will benefit the individual sport. In my sport, it helps to have big bones, have some flexible joints, and to have a strong jaw. It helps to take punishment.
It's
So,
interesting. How tall
yeah,
are
that's
you?
my kind of breakdown of the sports.
How
It's
tall
like
are you?
6'1", 6'1".
You and I are about the same height, except you look like you're bigger bone than me. You look really like Irish bones,
Bigger boned.
big Dutch bones.
Yeah, I got
But
the Viking. Yeah, I
you
got
look like
the
a Viking.
bones.
But I've heard a lot of nice things about you for the years, mostly about how professional you are, no nonsense. You're really good at what you do. We try to interview interesting people from all over the world. And one thing I admire about what you do is you're very passionate, and you've been doing this for so long. What do you think separates your studio over Sports Arena compared to other studios in San Diego or around the country?
Well, there's many good gyms in San Diego, maybe in the world as far as per capita. Like we have more gyms per capita, high level gyms, maybe in the world. It's crazy, specifically for jiu-jitsu. It's really weird. I'm the only one that's from here. Let's say that's world champion or whatever. There's other people from here, but I'm actually San Diego's original jiu-jitsu champion. We're very military friendly. We have a huge gym. I mean, you can do weights, you can do CrossFit. We have kickboxing, boxing. We used to have yoga. We might get that back. We have like 4 mats. We have 2 cages. We have 2 rings. It's just a huge, good place. So it's not so big that no one will know your name. It's not so small to where you don't have a training environment with like machines, and we have options here. So it's right in the middle where it's big enough to get all this variety of training, but it's small enough to where you're still going to meet people and develop friendships. And we have a high level of training in the world. We also have high. So in the end, it really depends on, if you can listen and understand what the coach says, because some people are attracted to different personalities. Something that I might say, it might be for someone thinking it's like, well, that's the best I heard it. But someone else will gravitate towards a different type of personality, someone else from a different gym. Maybe the way they teach is better, So if anyone's looking to start jiu-jitsu, I suggest to see if the coach is making sense. If you get
Yeah,
along, if you appreciate his energy, or if what
good.
he's saying makes sense, because the guy could be a very good athlete, but maybe not a good coach,
That's
in a good
true.
environment, not a bully environment, a very responsible, fun, good environment. Yeah, it should be a welcoming, family, good environment. You shouldn't feel like you're being bullied around. You should feel welcome. That's another thing. The environment is very important.
The name of the facility is Victory.
Victory MMA or Victory Fitness. It's off of Midway Drive. Yeah, it's nice. 3666 Midway Drive. And zip code is 92110. Right in Point Loma on Midway Drive.
So, do you take old guys like 55, maybe a couple, 2 or 3 days a week? You beat the hell out of them, and then their wives have to come pick them up, or how does that work out?
Of course, that's a joke. No, but that is a legitimate question I get asked, like in a serious, like, hey, it's not going to be people trying to hurt or push you past a certain boundary. It's about you just becoming better today than you were yesterday, becoming better tomorrow than I am right now. And I realized that if you can, it took me a long time to put this in very simplistic words, simple words. I mean, if you can look at the past and learn from the past your mistakes, if you can live it, but you can't live in the past, right? But if you can live in the present and appreciate what you're doing right now and plan for the future, that's a good general way. I think it's better than a different order, to live your life. So if you could right now enjoy it, you're training jiu-jitsu, knowing that you're preparing for the future, it's going to help a lot. I guarantee if someone starts to train, the self of you in 2 months would annihilate the you right now in 2 months, maybe 3 weeks. It's that fast. You can learn jiu-jitsu very fast. At the same time, though, I've done this sport for 26 years, and I still can learn stuff. I can learn things every day, and I am every day. I'm trying to learn every day. So you yourself can enjoy the moment, getting in shape, learning something functional, preparing yourself for the future that and I'm telling you, you in 2 or 3 or 4 weeks from now, if you matched that person against you right now, would annihilate the you right now. It just happens that fast. Imagine in 2 years, imagine in 5 years, the life-changing experience it is. And that's what we offer. We offer a good environment and a good path to becoming an expert at something that's incredible.
When does Victory open up again? You have any idea?
I missed that part. I didn't hear you.
When is Victory going to open up again? Is it opened up already, or is it going to open up?
It's going to open up within this month. It'll be, let's see, actually it's going to be May 1st. It'll be the first week of May, I believe. Yeah. So basically 1 month from now. We're just trying to get all our T's crossed and I's dotted because of this COVID outbreak, people freaking out and stuff. And like I said, it doesn't freak me out that much, but I respect people and we want to make sure people feel safe and we're doing things by the book, So that's why we have been closed. We've been trying to be very legit and take it seriously.
What do you work basically yourself with advanced, intermediate, or beginners, or how does that work?
We sometimes divide the class. We'll have a beginner class and an advanced class, but sometimes I teach everyone the same thing, but different ways to do it. Okay, so if you look at boxing, right? Let's see, boxing. That's a bad jab. It's very bad. Okay, but that's better if you don't turn your elbow. Like just simple stuff. So if I showed the jab in boxing, I would have the guys with more experience. I wouldn't have to show them the elbow because they know that. But they would do it. I would teach something more advanced, So it's the same thing. Fundamental technique. I try not to use the word basic. Basic sounds boring, but a fundamental technique in any combat sport, it's essential. It's fundamentally imperative that you learn it. Someone who learned that right now will do that movement at a lower level naturally. Although it's still a fundamental technique that everyone learns and needs to get better at. So if I'm showing something that you say basic or fundamental, I can show the advanced guys or girls things that will improve their training better, maybe a few small details. Because we have movements, we have moves, we have techniques, we have combinations into strategy, and then the principles. And then we have mindset. There's so many things we can look at, even levels of how you approach into actually how to grab someone and beat them or to win against them, right? So there's so many different ways we can look at things. We do sometimes have beginner classes and advanced classes, but more importantly, I'm not throwing everyone in and just showing one move and walking away. I'm gonna tailor make the day for everyone individually so that they can learn in an equal manner.
I love your passion, and I understand why Josh loves working with you. I can see the leadership qualities that you have, and I've been around enough good coaches in different areas to tell you're a great coach, And it's
Hopefully,
probably,
yeah.
I know you love to fight,
Thank
but
you.
is coaching more rewarding in a way to you?
Yeah, I wouldn't really like to admit this, but it does seem like grass is always greener, you know. Because when I was fighting, and that was my full time job, you kind of go, look at the coach. He kind of has it easy, you know. "Ah, I can't wait. I didn't really mean I can't wait till I retire, but I was like, yeah, it looks kind of comfortable over there. And then now I'm older, and I'm kind of like, man, I wish I was younger again. I wish I was fighting. It's just, I mean, I've seen guys who that are in the same group of guys. One guy's married, talking about how he wishes single, and another guy right over there, where, he's single, wishes he had a nice girl. It's literally in the same maybe two sentences. I talked to different people, and they have opposite problems. It just seems like if you appreciate what you have right now, it's going to be better. And it's something I've done decently as far as appreciating what I've had, appreciating what I used to have. Maybe appreciating what I can have once again. I'm not too old. But yeah, it's
How young are you? How young are you?
in different ways rewarding.
How
45.
40? Oh,
45
you're a
years old.
baby still. You're a baby. There's a lot you're going to do
40,
still.
baby, yeah, baby. Sure, yeah.
Have you written any books?
Absolutely.
Have you done any books at all?
We're going to start one soon. It's going to be training / philosophy, just the fighter's mindset. It won't be these 500 moves and how to do them better. With everyone has those books. I think they're kind of boring, actually. I mean, every good fighter has one. I don't have one yet. I'm going to make like a few stories, a few lessons, a few principles, and make that come out this year, for sure. This year, yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy. You're all over the world traveling. Dean Lister is very well needed in San Diego in the United States right now. We need to get this country back out doing their things, and we need you to coach more of our younger kids in San Diego right now. We need to find a way to get you to them, and we need to let them know more about what you're doing. And I think you could be very helpful in a lot of ways. I really thank you so much for being on my show.
Yeah, but my honor for all the youngsters watching this, and I can't wait to get back. And if I could pitch a little bit, right now it's a hard time, and tell you, I've been through some really weird and maybe even dangerous things in my life as a kid, growing up in different countries and stuff. But this was actually, in my opinion, the 1 year where it's just one of the more depressing. I think kids, you need to get some personal interaction with your peers, and that's going to happen soon. So keep yourself strong, and when they all see, I'll be on the mat. I'm looking forward to it.
I look forward to coming to one of your classes and becoming a member. See if I can learn a few things from you. I'm sure I can learn a lot from you. Thank you for being on my show. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yes.
God bless, man. Take care.
Cheers. I'll talk soon.
Okay, bro.
Nice.
Dean Lister, one of the greats. An honor to have him on the show. Class act, great gentleman, and very honored to finally get a chance to talk to him. I want to thank my sponsor, of course, Attorney King. Yes, the hat, the same King. Also, Sequan Casino and Resort and Coney Martinez, thank you so much. And we look forward to doing that beautiful event with you and King April the 16th at Sequan. And of course, Indian Motorcycle and Tim Broadhead, you are my brother from another mother. And of course, the gym. Thank you for what you do, George Jackson. And IB Fitness and Marina, the mogul mommy, who does a podcast here at IQ Podcast. God bless everybody. Take care, and let's be nice to each other. Okay. Have a nice night and take care.